conference is being recorded.
Hey coaches, this is AJ. Wanted to say welcome to tonight's coaching call. Wherever you are in the world, whether you're listening live or to the replay, thank you so much for joining us. Tonight's coaching call topic is about what to do once you land that virtual speaking opportunity. So virtual or digital speaking opportunities are things like podcasts, telesummits, conference calls, Zoom, Skype, and now Facebook Live and Instagram Live stories. So once you land those types of speaking opportunities, you're going to need the tips that I share with you today to know what to do next. So I'm excited about tonight's topic. And before we dive in, I want to let you guys know that we have a live personal life coach certification training coming up in the Atlanta, Georgia area very soon. So head over to www.fastcoachtraining.com. Again, that's www.fastcoachtraining.com to get more information and or to send someone you know to get certified as a life coach soon. Want to say hello to everyone who is joining us again live, whether you're listening to this for the first time or the second or third time. Hopefully tonight's tips about what to do once you land the virtual speaking gig will help you. So we're going to go ahead and dive in because, as you guys know, we don't have a lot of time together, but I do encourage you that if you're listening live, whether it's Facebook Live or even on a conference call tonight, however you're dialing in and tuning in with us, if you're virtual, let's start there. Let's say you're online. Let's say you're on Facebook Live. Look in the bottom. There's a discussion bar there. I'm going to come to you for Q&A of tonight's coaching call. So no worries. If you have questions about tonight's topic, I'll give you a chance to ask those as we wrap up tonight's coaching call. So tip number one, after you land this virtual speaking gig, this interview, you're never going to use a speakerphone. Again, never use a speakerphone. Now I say this because for the last few days, I have heard some horrible audio sounding interviews, either on a podcast or maybe a video. The golden rule or the rule of thumb when it comes to virtual speaking opportunities is to make sure you have good quality. So wherever you're listening in from right now, I am 100% certain that you can hear me loud and clear. So take that as a key to never use the speakerphone because you want to come in loud and clear. Pick up the phone, put it to your ear like the old-fashioned way where you used to have the phone on your shoulder, or get you a virtual headset. Now you could do anything from a cordless mic to cordless headset, making sure that people can hear you and that they understand what you're saying because you're going to be on these interviews giving such value, talking about your coaching topic, your signature speaking topic, selling your books and your coaching programs. You want to make sure your voice comes through loud and clear. That's tip number one. And then this is very key. Tip number two. Now, one of my famous mentors, $1 million mentor, told me this when he brought me on his team to now train life coaches here in Atlanta. He said, AJ, when you speak as if you're speaking to one person. Again, when you speak as if you're talking to one person. Now, I'll take it a little bit further and share with you something that I heard recently. Someone said, when you speak, no matter if it's virtual or live in person, act like you're talking to your best friend and you're telling them some juicy gossip because you have not seen them in a while and they really need to know what you have to say. So you want to have that one-on-one conversation and making sure that the information is getting to the person who needs to hear it most. So again, you're promoting your books, your coaching programs, your products, your services, your free offer, whatever it is for them to opt into your email list, get to know more about you. You're speaking to these people virtually and you want to let them know that they're included in that conversation, even though you won't be able to hear back from your audience right away unless it's a call-in type of an interview or speaking engagement. But 9 times out of 10, you will be talking to an interviewee or a podcast host or a telesummit host. So you will have an interview that goes 2 ways. So talk to that one person, but make sure that the audience feel like they're included in that conversation as well. Because number one, you're on a phone or a headset, not your speakerphone. And number 2, you're speaking as if you're speaking to one person. Tip number 3. If you guys have ever taken Toastmasters, you know they have this thing called an counter. That's when you're trying to get your thoughts, and you may even catch me saying a few times during tonight's call. Now I'll be more conscious of it. But when you speak, make sure that you are your own counter. Make sure you're counting your ums and limiting those. For me, I say so a lot. I say now a lot when I'm starting a sentence, but you're not supposed to technically say or so or while you're speaking. So make sure you're conscious of those so that no one will sit and count. Now, I've actually been in a live presentation where the person sitting next to me, who just so happened to have been a special guest of mine, sat beside me and literally out loud counted the number of times that the speaker in front of us said, Now, while it drove me crazy, this visitor did have a valid point. This person was a professional speaker, a wealth builder, talking about saving your money and speaking in front of people to share that message. So they should have known or been more aware of their ums. So don't let that be you. Don't let my friend or anyone else that comes to your speaking events or hears you over the airways count your ums. Make sure that you're paying attention and speaking in complete sentences so that it's not the first thing that you say. That's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is make sure that once you land this virtual interview, this podcast, this radio interview where you call in, this telesummit, this Skype, Zoom, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, whatever you're recording on to get your message across during the speaking engagement or interview, make sure that you're inviting your listeners to share with their friends who could use this information too. So for example, if you're live with me right now on Facebook, take a moment, tag a fellow coach and tell them to hop on tonight's call with Coach AJ, because she's dropping nuggets on what to do on these digital interviews. Now, a lot of coaches come to me and they're looking for speaking interviews. I actually just gave a fellow colleague a digital speaking opportunity based on a new resource that I just discovered. So people come to me and they're looking for information on where they can go speak, where they can share their message. Everybody wants to be an inspirational speaker, a motivational speaker. They want to speak professionally. A lot of people call themselves a public speaker. You should never refer to yourself as a public speaker, by the way. You want to be a professional speaker. And if you need to know how to do that, I want to give you a resource over at bit.ly/2018 speaker. Again, that's bit.ly/2018 speaker. I'm teaching you how to stop calling yourself a public speaker, because that means you're not getting paid, and how to become a professional speaker where you can start charging fees and making money as you take on these speaking events, whether it's virtual or live. So again, head over to bit.ly/2018 speaker. And for the low cost of only $20.18 tonight, you can get your hands on this resource. It's going to help you take your speaking career to the next level. But again, people come to me and they're looking for these opportunities to speak, whether it's free or paid. And I am excited to offer resources that I know about, but you have to make sure that you're ready for these opportunities. So make sure you're not using the speakerphone when they show up. You're speaking to one person. Be careful of your ums, and then encourage people listening to your message. If it's recorded by any way on a phone or a computer, make sure you're encouraging people to share with their friends who can use this same information that you're sharing, because a lot of people need to know what you're talking about. That's tip number 4. Tip number 5 about what to do when you land these virtual speaking opportunities. Never say the year. Let me repeat that. Never say the year. What I mean is, if you're speaking on a podcast, an interview, let's just say a digital speaking engagement, and you say whatever year it is that you're speaking in, you will date the material. And people will wonder, is this material still relevant? Now, what I mean by this is, let's say it was 2003 and you were giving your first digital speaking opportunity. And now when people go back and listen to that, because again, this information is timeless. The way we record our conference calls, our telesummits, today's speaking engagements that are digital, people can access it for years to come as long as that platform is still available. So if you've told people it was 2003 and they listened to it in 2018, they're 15 years behind and they're wondering, is this person still in business? Is this offer still valid? Whatever they're telling me about, is this speaking topic still relevant? What do I do with this information? Because this person has told me what year it is. So again, never say the year because it dates your material. That's tip number 5. And then let me give you another tip. Tip number 6. When you're mentioning, let's say, okay, all of us on tonight, today, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world right now, you have tuned in because you are a coach of some sort, whether it's marriage, relationships, health, fitness, business, life, parenting, whatever you coach around, you have given yourself the title of a coach. Now, as a coach, that means that you have coaching clients. So when you're speaking, mention some of your coaching clients, especially those that you've had a lot of success with. Now, what that means is, let's say, for example, you take a client that you've worked with who has come from where they were and you've helped them move at least one step further to getting them to where they want to be. You want to talk about that client during your interview and then use their specific name, share their specific story of success as it relates to what you're sharing on these interviews. So take whatever you coach about, talk about one of your coaching clients, mention the success that they've had based on where they were and how you've helped them come a certain way. Now, what this does is build credibility for you. And it also lets people know that you really do work with clients. And guess what? They may be ready to be your next client. So keep in mind when you're doing these digital speaking engagements, when you've landed these virtual interview opportunities, you're never using your speakerphone. You're speaking as if you're talking to one person. You're not using as much. I hope I've done a great job with showing that tonight. And then you're going to encourage your listeners to share your message with friends who can use the information that you're talking about. You're never saying the year that you're giving this speaking engagement when it's being recorded because it dates your material. And then you're going to mention a client that you have had success with by talking about them specifically. Now, you may protect their name. I know I have protected a lot of my clients' names when it comes to coaching. A lot of coaching we do is in confidence. And so when the client gives you their permission to use them as a testimonials because they've had great results with you and you've helped them to reach a goal through your specific industry of coaching, then ask them for permission to use their name, their website, their success story, the results that they have gotten based on where they were because they have worked with you successfully. Again, that's going to build your credibility as a coach, and it's also going to put it out there that you're accepting new clients that you can help get to where this current client is as well. And then you want to do something that I call watch the cliches. Now, a lot of people talk in quotes and cliches, but I want you to watch the cliches. A lot of people say things like, take big, massive action. That's a Tony Robbins saying. Let Tony have his saying and you find your own word. So watch the cliches, watch the talk as if you're talking to one person. Don't talk on your speakerphone. Never say the year, and then mention the clients that you're working with. Again, this is showing your originality, your professionalism as a speaker. You're talking about something that you know about during these digital interviews, these speaking opportunities. All of you guys that call me or email me or Facebook message me saying, AJ, I'm looking to do more speaking. Make sure you're putting these keys. So far, I've given you 7 keys. Make sure you're putting these keys into action and helping you to take your speaking career to the next level. Because even if you get your first speaking opportunity as a digital interview, you can now take that information offline and teach classes, speak live, do your own shows. Someone asked me recently about starting a podcast. Hint, hint. You can use this information to build your own platform. So let me just do a quick recap. Number 1, never use your speakerphone. Number 2, speak as if you're speaking to one person. Number 3, be careful of and so and you knows. Okay. Number 4, encourage your listeners to share with their friends who could use the information that you're sharing. Because again, this is being recorded. So every time someone hears it, you're telling that new person that's listening to it for the first time to now go share it with a friend. Number 5, never say the year because it's going to date your information and you don't want to lose that credibility by telling people, oh, you're listening to this information years later. Number 6, Mention one of your success stories, your clients, their specific name, their story as it relates to what you're talking about during your interview or your digital speaking engagement and what you're able to coach around. And again, that's opening up a window for people to inquire about your service. And then number 7, watch your cliches, like take massive action. Come up with your own slogans, your own words, your own quotes. And let me give you a bonus. Recap the information that you covered during the recording, just like I just did with recapping the information to make sure that your listeners got what you were talking about. So guys, this is a wonderful opportunity to up-level your speaking career. Now I have a list of about 40 different tips I can give you. We only made it through 7. So what I'm going to do is include this in the resource over at bit.ly/2018 speaker. Again, bit.ly/2018 speaker. I'm going to include the remainder of the tips as a bonus in the resource. It's going to help you take your speaking to the next level so that you can go from being a quote public speaker, aka free, unpaid, or someone who receives honorariums, to a professional speaker, someone who can quote a price, sell books, sell coaching, sell more speaking opportunities. That's one thing I love about when I speak. I am 100% guaranteed to land another speaking engagement during the time that I'm speaking, whether it's live or virtual, whether I'm invited back on the show via a podcast host, or whether I speak live and someone else is sitting in the audience, they want me to come speak to their audience. There's always a guarantee that you're going to make more money when you know what you're doing as a speaker. So again, head over to bit.ly/2018 speaker. And I know you guys are probably saying, AJ, 2018 speaker, you said don't date your material. That resource will always be available to those who need it. But the bonus is for those who take action right away. So again, if you need the resource for speaking, bit.ly/2018 speaker, as I go to our Facebook Live and answer any questions that you have as we wrap up tonight's talk about virtual speaking opportunities. So Facebook, get to typing. What questions do you have? You know I love engagement. You know I love talking to you guys live. I love going back and including you guys in the conversation when you have questions after the live. And no worries, I know we only have about 10 more minutes here together, but I want to make sure that you get your questions answered, whether it's right now or whether it's in the future. I am here to answer those questions. So conference line, I am going to open up Q&A. Give me one moment. I love this new feature. There we go. So we have our Q&A session started. So if you're on our conference line and you would like to ask questions right now live with Coach AJ, I would love to talk to you. All you have to do is dial *6 and be placed in the queue. Again, conference line, *6, and Facebook Live. You guys know the drill. Put your questions in the discussion. Let me answer those, whether it's live or after tonight. All right. Hey, Tangi Newborn. Tangi says Tangi Newborn is listening. I appreciate that. Okay. Sylvia, bit.ly/2018 speaker. That is the correct link for tonight's resource for speakers. And let me see if I have any additional questions. Hey, Celeste, thanks for joining. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Coach Tamiko. You guys are in the house tonight. I appreciate that. Hey, Tasha. Hey, Catherine. Thank you guys so much for joining. What questions do you have that I can answer tonight? And then as we're live here on Facebook Live, I'm going to go ahead and do you guys a favor like I do from time to time and go ahead and drop it in the comments. So what questions do you have? If not, I will give you back the next 12 minutes of your time tonight. All right. bit.ly/2018 speaker. I am putting it in our discussion Facebook Live. No worries. I know I talk kind of fast, so I am here for you. I got you. All right. Sylvia says she got the link. Thank you, Sylvia. I'm going to go ahead and pin it in the comments to make sure that fellow coaches have it as well. Again, bit.ly/2018 speaker. You guys are quiet tonight, and that's quite all right. Because as I mentioned, you can always, whether we're live, whether you're listening to the recording or the replay, you can always look down at the bottom of the screen and type in your questions, and I'll be happy to interact and engage with you guys on a consistent basis if you have any additional questions about the topic. All right, guys. So I'm going to give you the rest of your night back. Thank you so much for joining. And thank you for tuning in, tagging a coach. And I will leave you with this. There is someone somewhere waiting on you, dear virtual speaker, to walk in your destiny so they can walk into theirs, because it's when you let your light shine, you give others permission to do the same. I'm Coach Andrika J. Austin. Shouts out to all of the new and veteran coaches joining us. And I look forward to seeing you this time next week. You guys have a phenomenal night. And until we meet again, my friends, God bless. Good night.